Goodbye, everybody. It is Bizarro, and by special request, I am doing a review of Owlman. I had a lot of requests for me to do this. He is one of the rare characters that I've ever paid for the $99 packs because I am not a whale, so it's very rare for me to buy one of the $99 packs, but I did it with Owlman. So let's go ahead and take a look at him, and I'll talk a little bit about what I think his legendary order should be, but take my recommendations with a grain of salt because I try to build teams the way I like to build them for comps that I'm working on, and they may not necessarily be the same comps that you're working on. Just a quick reminder of what his legendary upgrades are, because you can probably see them if you have him up a little bit. But if not, for those of you who may not have him yet up high and are trying to decide whether to raise him up to a reasonable level, first legendary, on a critical hit, apply 3 hit chance ups to teammates. So that is working really with the idea that Owlman is an anti-evasion character or anti-hit chance down character. The second legendary upgrade, 50% chance to apply same amount of buffs to a random ally. So basically, Owlman is buffing himself, and it gives a 50% chance to put those same buffs on a teammate. The third legendary upgrade uses Darkest Night on random target when an ally misses an attack. Again, really geared towards anti-evasion, anti-hit chance down characters. And I'll talk in a second about what I think about this because there is something to be said in terms of the current meta and what Owlman brings to the table for the current meta. The fourth one, Owlman gains the same amount of turn meter up. So basically, if a teammate deals a critical hit at max, I don't have this max yet, but at max, it will provide a total of 25% turn meter, and it allows Owlman to gain the same amount of turn meter up. So that's pretty valuable because, again, in a second, I'll talk about the current meta and how that might fit in with the current meta. And then last, the legendary upgrade. At the start of the battle, apply 4 agility ups to all allies. So let me talk about each one of these and what I think the legendary order should be. Obviously, there's some spoilers because I've already chosen mine, so I guess it's not going to be any big surprise what I think the first 2 should be. Unless you're just really not watching the video portion of this. The first legendary upgrade, the on critical hit, apply 3 hit chance ups. I always like an upgrade on a basic because it's the move you're going to be using the most often, but I am always weighing it against the others. In this particular case, I would probably choose, if you're trying to build an anti-evasion character out of Owlman, then I would suggest that you choose this third. The second legendary upgrade, I'm not a big fan of moves that only have a 50% chance because I have horrible RNG, and whenever something says 50%, that means to me that the computer does it 100% of the time. I do it 0% of the time, and that averages out to 50% of the time. So I actually would recommend this one to be fourth. Then on his third, so you can see on my particular Owlman, I have taken the legendary upgrade on his third move, the use Darkest Night on random target when an ally misses an attack. I really like can't miss characters, and I like characters that are counters to evasion characters. So I chose this one, but really I think 3 or 4, depending upon what you're building right now, is each one of them is equally valuable. I like that was like, for a second. So the Owlman gives the same amount of turn meter, or Owlman gains the same amount of turn meter up. If you're building around Survival Suit Lex, this is going to be really valuable because you can have a team that's not only gaining turn meter from buffs, but gaining turn meter from critical hits. So I do think this will be valuable in the current meta. So if you're more focused on the fun that's going on with Survival Suit Lex, I would say choose this first. So essentially what I mean is you would choose either 3 or 4 first, depending upon the comp you're trying to build. And then you would, once you've chosen those as 1 and 2, I would probably recommend Talon Strike as 3. And then even though Hunter's Preparation is only 50% chance, I would recommend that 4th. And I'll tell you why my logic is not to choose the 4 agility ups on his 5th move as one of the first legendary upgrades. You know, what I don't like doing is creating fodder for Wonder Girl. And I feel like characters that are too buff heavy can end up being fodder for Wonder Girl and they just get whipped to death. So I'm not sure I want to start a battle already having 4 agility ups on every character. So for me, I would leave this one last. Now, if you're some crazy guy who wants to create a Clayface meta, well then I suppose combining Owlman and Clayface, who both give agility ups to their teammates at the start of the battle, you would have some really agile characters. But as far as I know, there's not much of a Clayface meta right now. So speaking of meta, you know, one of the things that I question is whether Owlman is like a day late and a dollar short. There was the domination of the evasion meta for quite a long time, but it's with the addition of Hal Jordan, with the addition of Red Hood, and now the addition of Survival Suit Lex, it really seems like there's a heavy move away from the evasion meta. So if you are using Owlman for that purpose, you might want to think about how often you're really seeing evasion characters on your board. If you're still seeing them a lot, I think Owlman becomes even more valuable. And I'm not suggesting that Owlman is not valuable because of that. But I think his value is lessened in the sense that the meta has shifted away from evasion characters. Okay, so what I want to do is then take Owlman into battle. And I have tried a couple of teams that I do like with Owlman. And they are buff heavy teams. So I will give these a try and let's just see how it goes. So let me pick a team that I think we might do all right against. And let's see. I'm not thrilled with that one. Trying to find something more typical. Let's try one of these Hal Jordan teams. So here we might just be fodder for Wonder Girl. Let's see. Let me try this Constantine team. All right, so this might be an interesting one to try. It does have Wonder Girl, but let's see how Owlman performs. And basically, the team I have been trying is with Steppenwolf lead and Owlman. If you're a big Steppenwolf fan and he's somebody you use real often, Owlman and Steppenwolf pair very well together because they're almost like clones of each other in their gear sets, in the exception of their affinity difference, in that they both reward those critical hits. And then the reason I'm adding Wonder Girl is she provides further turn meter manipulation with her her second move. And then I'm going to add Donna Troy to lower my cooldowns. So we'll see how this goes. We might get annihilated. Who knows? Let's give it a whirl. So one of the first things we can see is how fast Owlman is relative to other characters. When does he get to go? He is faster, but not extremely fast. See, somehow I'm already getting whipped. I don't quite understand that. But what's nice is I'm hoping I can take Wonder Girl out on my first shot with Owlman. Not even close. So that's a bit of an inauspicious start right there. Yeah, this is not looking good for Owlman's first shot on Wonder Girl. And we're getting annihilated here. So that didn't go so well, and I wasn't too impressed with the amount of damage that Owlman did against Wonder Girl, because if you can't take her out early, that's a bit of a problem. But he didn't crit, and maybe it was just some bad luck. So I'm actually just going to run the exact same team against the exact same team again to see if we can have any better luck. I was a little confused how Wonder Girl whipped us right at the beginning, because I didn't even get a chance to really look at my buffs. So this time we can look again. All right, so we're already getting whipped. And the other thing I noticed, so I'm going slow here, but you notice that Wonder Girl is also faster than Owlman, which can present a bit of a problem, because we'd really like Owlman to be able to take her out first without her getting a turn. So I am going to have to try to give my team the turn meter up again, and it may be the same result, but we will see. So I do have, see how many crit chance ups I have. I have 1, 2, 3. So that should increase my chance of doing a critical hit on her. And I'm going to use Owlman's third move. So let's give it a try. And you can see that time it worked. And that's what I would expect that move to do. So let me buff my team again. I'm going to want to stun Black Adam so that he doesn't get rolling. And then he gets the taunt anyway. Alright, so let's see if I can speed my team up. Somehow, wow, okay. I guess I'm just not following what's happening here, because this is just a little strange. And I've never seen Stripe do that much damage. So this is an inauspicious start for Owlman, but maybe it's not the best team to try against that team. So let me select a different one, because I don't want to bias my viewers to thinking Owlman is bad, because I actually had really good success with that team before. So let me see if I can just find a team that might do a little better for us to test. So we got a lot of these mostly red teams, which is what I'm having a hard time with. So let's see. Cougar Fan. All right, so let's see what we can do here. Boy, I just don't have great selection for teams to try against. They're just all of one affinity on my board, which is good when I play this later, but not when I'm trying to demonstrate a character. All right, let's try this team and see how we do. They're going to probably, they're going to do some damage to me through the turn meter manipulation from Castaway, but we'll see how this goes. Let's give it a try. And this just might be terrible team selection on my part, so don't let that bias any decisions you might make on Owlman. Because you could see from the last video, Owlman can one-shot Wonder Girl. Alright, so we are getting whipped profusely. Wow, okay. So we're not even going to get a chance to try Owlman because of the turn meter manipulation. And that's a little frustrating. All right, I am going to abandon this match. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this same team again, but I'm going to substitute my own Castaway Green Arrows so that I can manipulate their turn meter first. So let's see, where was that team? Was it here? Yes, I will buy energy. Oh wait, no, Castaway was at the top. There he is. Okay, picked the wrong one. All right, let's try this again, and this time I'm going to manipulate their turn meter with Castaway, and we'll see how this goes. And hopefully you're not sitting there saying, wow, this is terrible. I am not buying Owlman. So let's, we're getting whipped right at the beginning by Wonder Girl, which is a little frustrating. So we're going to buff the team, and let's see if we can start taking some folks out really early. So there we go. We got rid of Wonder Girl, which should help us out now. And you can see he hit really hard. One thing I have noticed, and I think you just noticed it there, is that the basic does not hit very hard for Owlman. But the nice thing is he does have a good cooldown on his other moves. So that allows you to be able to hit a little harder, a little quicker with some of those other moves. All right, so let's debuff him, an AoE on them, and then we can take him out. So that went a little better, and that seems to be my fault simply for the characters I selected in the last battle. But you can see one of the difficult parts of running Castaway, brain isn't working. One of the tough parts of running Owlman with Steppenwolf when you have Wonder Girl around is there's just too many buffs. So the last thing I wanted to try and show is how he works with Lex because of the turn meter up. And I'm going to choose a team that might give us some difficulty. But the nice thing here is that we have an evasion character. So if we miss, we should be able to see Owlman really shine. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to run this team again. I'm going to put Lex in the lead, and I'm going to put Steppenwolf as a sport character here. And let's see how this goes. Let's give it a whirl. So I like this test because it's our first test against an evasion character, and it gives us a test with Lex. And you can see my poor Lex only has 2 bars of health. So what we're going to do is we're going to speed the team up by giving us some buffs. I'm hoping that she misses. Now that, okay, so she did connect. And now I am just going to give her a whooping. And you can see I took her out easy, which is exactly what we wanted against an evasion character. And you can see I'm hitting pretty hard, even with somebody like Donna Troy, for who doesn't normally hit that hard. And I'm just going to just keep buffing my team and buffity, buffity, buff. And you can see it didn't hit too hard there, but that team is working pretty well. So he does have good synergy with Lex, it seems, with the turn meter manipulation. So I will, excuse me, I will leave it there for tonight for the review of Owlman. I'm still optimistic about Owlman. I want to try more comps with him. He's not hitting as hard as I would like on his basic, but I don't have him Legendary 4 yet, which is what I'm used to for most of my characters because I've been playing the game for a long time. So take that with a grain of salt. So hopefully this has been somewhat helpful. If it's not, let me know how I can improve on a review of a character, because this is my first one. And if it was helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if not, I will see you last time.